Time collapses waves into particles when observed. Think of it like this. You're watching kids playing hide and seek until you peek behind the curtain. The kid is both hiding there and not hiding there. The second you look, boom, you collapse the infinite maybes into one definite gotcha. That's quantum mechanics in baby shoes. The casino dice, before the dice land, every outcome is alive in the air. But once it hits the table, only one number stares back. Time is like the casino dealer, forcing possibility into actuality. Netflix buffering. Until you press play, the movie is an infinity of still frames. Observation streams them into narrative. Pregnancy test, before you look. The strip holds both futures, baby and no baby. When you observe, one collapses into being, and your life is never the same. How do you already do this? Every time you make a decision, coffee or tea, you collapse infinite possible mornings into one lived experience. When you fall in love, you collapse infinite could-have-beens into this story, this person, this fate. Every procrastination is a collapse. Not deciding, it's still collapsing into delay, into later. Consciousness is the harmonic field that collapses potential into form. You aren't just a witness, you're the damn switch that flips wave into matter. That's why reality feels like it responds to your attention, because it actually fucking does. What do you value more? Certainty, the comfort of knowing. Possibility, the thrill of maybe. Or creation, the power of collapse. Notice, whatever you prioritize, it's how you collapse your world. If you crave safety, you collapse waves into tight, predictable loops. If you value freedom, you collapse waves into adventure. Here's the kicker. Whichever you pick, you'll find evidence to prove that's just how life is. That's the hypnotic loop. So why does this work? Physics says observation creates collapse. Biology says neurons fire in phase lock, sculpting your memories like wet clay. Psychology says belief directs perception. You don't see the world as it is. You see it as your nervous system allows you to. Which means every belief is an observer. And beliefs fucking collapse reality. So why are you afraid? You're afraid of collapsing the wrong possibility. You're afraid of being judged for what you choose. You're afraid of realizing you've been collapsing your prison all along. But not choosing is also collapse into mediocrity, stagnation, decay. That's the karma of non-observation. The farmer and the seeds. A farmer looks at the field until he waters the seeds. Each seed is both dead and alive. The moment he chooses where to pour, he collapses a barren field into harvest or famine. Your attention is water. Where you pour it is what grows. The drunk in the doorway. A drunk walks down a street of infinite doors. Each door leads to a universe. The door he stumbles through collapses his faith. He curses luck, but it was his gaze that drew him there. The music of the spheres. Until you strike the piano key, every note lives as potential. Hit it, the room vibrates with this chord, this resonance. Observation is striking the key. The patterns that trap us. Endless fucking what ifs. It's analysis paralysis. Waiting for perfect certainty, it never comes. Living someone else's collapse, family, culture, fear. Each pattern, it drains life force, keeps you in wave soup, never crystallized into the gold of lived reality. And so, as you listen, you may notice you've always been collapsing waves into form. Every word you hear, every blink of your eyes, each one's a collapse. And that means you can already do this. You've already done this. And as you think about new ways you can collapse waves, you may realize by focusing on what you value most deeply, certainty, freedom, creation, your whole nervous system begins to line up behind the truth that you're the architect of collapse. And when your mind wanders back to fears of getting it wrong, you can remember that not choosing is also collapse. So why not collapse into the fucking life that lights your blood on fire? Time is the knife. Observation is the hand. You're the one holding it. Every moment, infinite waves. Every choice, one collapse. The science confirms it. The mystics whisper it. You collapse the universe by looking. So for God's sake, look where you actually want to live.